Hello, beautiful beings. I want to shed some light on reincarnation, on that cycle of rebirth, and why so many of you have potentially been told that this might be your last incarnation on Earth, including myself. So for a long time, I took that as, whoa, I must be, going into a different stage of my evolution and really blasting through some old karmic stuff in order to pass through these gates of cycles and pain and karmic imprinting and my lineage and so on. So what is actually happening? For the longest time, since the beginning of humanity, a certain energy has been messing with our biological makeup and has been copying our original system that is very much an organic, natural source connective system. And we, as beings of pure unconditional love, being hooked into that original system made us very powerful, very connected, and very super empowered. So since that was a threat and certain beings and energies thought they can do better than that, and they wanted to regain control and grip on that system, they copied that system and actually synthesized it and made it into very good carbon copy that has been messing with our DNA, with the energies on this planet, and so on. So a lot has been happening. The good news is that we're heading into a whole different scenario. So before, with that old energetic system in place, the idea was to sever the connection between us and our source connection more and more, so that we become less powerful and more programmable or conditionable, more easily to influence and control. So for about a little more than a year now, actually hasn't been that long, the energy on our planet and the vibration has been rising so fast, so high, and so continuously that a new system has been rising and upgrading us from the inside out. Contrary to belief, where we believe that from the outside in, there needs to be enlightenment taking place. We need to leave the body in order to achieve something, and so on. It is actually happening from the inside out through our biological makeup. We are rising the temperature, we are rising the vibration and frequency of our being into a space that is now becoming a conjugate mirror of that vibrational frequency of pure love that is also reverberating in the earth and in our planetary system. So what's been happening with reincarnation in particular is that we became trapped in a wheel of reincarnation because we were hooked into the old system that literally held us hostage, that enslaved us in our mind, in our capacity to connect fully into our source. So now, since that energy is rising, we can now plug into a whole different system. But again, not from the outside in, but from the inside out, by truly learning to embodying pure unconditional love. This is not the love that we are learning about in relationships, in the outside world. This is the love that is the foundational biological component of what this universe and this world is made of. Very different. So since we can now plug into that energy, and it's a choice and it's a path that we choose to go into that accelerated space, we have also the choice to disconnect from the old system that keeps us in the wheel of reincarnation, the wheel of samsara, also known as that. When we do that and we pass over and die, we are actually not plugged into the wheel of reincarnation anymore, and we can just pass through the gates and go straight to our source energy of pure love. So many of you have probably been told, wow, this might be your last incarnation on Earth, you're doing great. You are doing great because you are plugging into the system that is no longer holding you hostage and is no longer keeping you captive in a space of you cannot get through that because you're not there yet. The whole energy and the whole vibration and frequency of our planet is rising. Some people choose to go with it, some people go against it. That's completely fine and chill. Everybody does what they do. It is your choice to purify, to clear that which is no longer needed, to not hang on to it in order to control or to feel like you're the massive healer that you are. None of that matters anymore. It is really about truly embodying the pure love codes and energy that you are. That's already your birthright, that you have just been disconnected from for a while. So now when we transcend and die, the beautiful space that we call, you know, the transitioning realm, the death space, the other dimension is so close that we do not actually need to come back here if we don't want to. It's actually a pure choice, where before it was just, something we didn't have too much control over. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know.